You know, you've been following me around for a couple of days now. I still don't think I've told you how I got to be so kick-ass in this Pac-Man. I actually had a Miss Pac-Man machine in this very house. It was housed in this little nook right here. And I had video game friends of mine come over, and we'd have round robins, and they were completely flustered because, you know, they believed that machine to be possessed. It was absolute chaos. There's fruit flying everywhere. You know, the ghosts must have been, they were flying around, they must have been ghosts of, you know, crackheads past. So they thought they couldn't handle the randomness. It was like a frat party at 3 a.m. So they used to shake their heads, walk out the door thinking, you know, it was inhabited by some demonic spirit. So,
what happened to it?
It got repossessed. I lost my job and started missing payments on it. So, you know, they didn't care who I was. They just callously took it away. So.
Good afternoon, Mr. Builty. This is Rick from Midway Games. I believe this is our 17th attempt to reach you in regards to a lateness of payment on a Miss Pac-Man machine. Please, we would appreciate you getting back to us at your soonest convenience, sir. Thank you.
Fuck you, Rick. You know, I completely understand that I have terrible credit, and you know what, I somewhat, you know, understand their motivations for taking my Miss Pac-Man machine away from me. But you know what? In this point in my life, I can honestly care less what my FICO score is. I mean, what's the highest score you can get in FICO anyway? You know, I mean, in Miss Pac-Man, I know what I can get in Miss Pac-Man. I have 28 million points in Miss Pac-Man. I think you can only get 800 points in FICO. You know, unless those FICO people up the ante and maybe raise it to something worthwhile, like 1,000 points, then it'd be worth the chase. But right now, for me, no thanks. You know, it's not worth the pursuit. What worries me right now is an email I got from a good friend of mine who just happens to deal classic video game consoles. And the email said that my Miss Pac-Man machine, the one that used to sit, you know, right out there, was just sold to, get this, Chuck E. fucking Cheese, of all places, which, you know, it pains me a little bit because, you know, not only growing up, but right now, I love Chuck E. Cheese. I hate to say it as an adult, but I go there all the time, man, and so much so that not only do I kick ass at Miss Pac-Man, but I fashion myself the king of the Papa Shot. I make it rain in there, literally. So, so much so that, you know, just to draw a parallel, what that Vegas strip club was to Pac-Man Jones, Chuck E. Cheese is for me. But I guess there's a subtle difference in that, you know, he shot bouncers amongst screaming strippers, whereas I just shoot mini balls amongst the sea of laughing children. So, you know, it's going to be tough for me to go back there, knowing that a piece of me is lying on its carpet. You know, I love Chuck E. You know, so much so I love Chuck E. Cheese that, you know, fuck it, half this house is furnished by my Chuck E. Cheese winnings. When I go there, you know, I tear down that prize wall. I tear that bitch down. I Gorbachev it, quite frankly. And you were there my last time. You saw how many tickets I won. Did I get the filter?
Where you going, Jake?
Right now, I'm gonna go see that grave robber that likes to call itself Chuck E. Cheese, and, you know, make sure they're treating my Miss Pac-Man machine with some respect. But for me right now, first of all, I can't promise that I won't be emotional, but I do know a lot of people there, so I got to do this as subtly and discreetly as possible. So when I'm there, you know, for me, discretion's gonna be the key. So.
What did you put down there, Jake?
Fashioned a bouquet out of invalid Chuck E. Cheese tickets. It's appropriate. It's a tough day. It's a tough day. That's really good.
Did you think it was going to be that emotional for you today?
Well, back when I was setting records and turning down hand jobs from random arcade skanks, I always used to think, if I'm experiencing all this good fortune and all the cherries in life and Miss Pac-Man are bouncing my way, then there's going to be some poor bastard out there living an absolute prison shower of a life, encountering a whole different type of fruit. And looking at that Miss Pac-Man machine, the one that I practiced on, made me realize that, 8 years after I set the record, that bastard's me, and it got me thinking that, life is nothing but a shitty DVD player. It don't skip over the damaged areas. So, and to make things worse, the reason why I still have these sunglasses on is because some psychotic mother maced me in the parking lot of Chuck E. Cheese. You didn't get that on film, but it still burns. What's good for mace?